Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I am Suzanne Monk, your host of the one and only Trump Talk, the only live Periscope show about Donald J. Trump and everything happening Donald J. Trump. And I just thought I'd just get the music stopped and get started because there's so much going on in the news, you guys, about Trump. First off, let's talk about this crazy New York Times story. It was a huge hit piece talking about how Trump mistreats women and is embarrassed when, well, funny. One of the women in the story, Roanne Brewer-Lane, actually, who later dated Trump, the girl who he asked to put on the bathing suit. If you read the article, I thought we said read the article. So we did, right? If you read it, you know who she was. Anyway, she actually went on Fox and Friends this morning and claimed the New York Times totally spun the story negatively. She did not have any negative experience with Mr. Trump and does not believe he has ever mistreated women. So, this morning, New York Times story already unraveling. You cannot put out a story that lasts longer than 24 hours before it's unraveling. It's not going well if you're the New York Times. So, also, other great news on the Trump side. There's a Trump University case. As you all know, there was a class action lawsuit against Trump University. However, that case has been disbanded or dissolved. It is ruled that it cannot be a class action lawsuit as each of the defendants did not have a similar experience. Some actually experienced some portion of success with their program. Others did not. So they would each have to sue Mr. Trump separately. So we'll see how that goes going forward. But it is a huge win in the Trump University case for Mr. Trump and very exciting. Now, unfortunately, not so good news if you're Hillary Clinton. If you're Hillary Clinton, some bad news out in Nevada. It seems that at the convention there was a little bit of a scuffle and a hullabaloo as the Bernie supporters were not a big fan of the way the votes were being counted or not recounted. So hotel security was actually... they actually had to ask the convention to disperse and empty out the room to try to get control of the situation because it became so volatile. People were, a person was, they had to call a medic. There was all sorts of problems going on. A huge scuffle that I'm pretty sure the news is downplaying more than actually happened because it seems it was, from the little snippets you get, it was pretty riled up. So it's not going very well if you're Hillary Clinton whatsoever. Also, not going well if you're Hillary Clinton. It seems to me that she's so desperate to try to make sure that she can seal up the Democratic nomination that she is willing to, basically throw her husband Bill in for the deal. She said earlier today that Bill would have a big part in being in charge of helping the economy. Which is interesting because he's not elected. He's your husband. And we actually already had him in the economy. And without Newt Gingrich, he pretty much wouldn't have had any way to improve the economy under his watch whatsoever. So, and later, she actually recanted that and said, no, he's not going to have a position in my cabinet or anything like that. So, Hillary's kind of sticking her foot in her old pie hole, if you know what I'm saying. And we're not surprised. She's not able to put Bernie Sanders away. They're still in a huge battle over there and a lot of hubbubaloo still going on. The superdelegates still seem to stay on her side, but we will keep you informed as that goes forward. Never know what happens. We all remember. Oh, wait. So, tomorrow, Oregon. Tomorrow, get out and vote. Oregon. As I said, it is important in each of these primaries that we make sure we get out, not just to make sure that Trump gets to the 1237. We're at 1149 right now. Not just to make sure that he gets to the 1237, but so that there are as many delegates as possible on the floor of the convention so that the rules and the platform can be led by Mr. Trump. Very important stuff. So Oregon, get out there and vote. Make sure you do your part and help make America great, because that's what we're trying to do. So there is a new rally, everybody, on Thursday, on the 19th, 5 p.m. in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. So if you haven't got a chance to see a Trump rally and you are in the region, go see it. It's great stuff. If you are unable to go see it, what you want to do is stream it live at rightsidebroadcastingnetwork.tv, rsbn.tv. They're great, and I always pitch them because they reminded me personally about them, and they actually are super great about it and have all of the back speeches and the current speeches. So tune into that, rsbnt.tv, and you can catch all of that there. So 5 p.m. Thursday the 19th, new rally. Finally. Oh my gosh, it was such a dry period. It was ridiculous. So let's do my Trump reason of the day. Trump reason of the day, you guys, a very simple reason. The Second Amendment. And I point to my Don't Tread on Me flag because there is no right more precious and more vital to the individual liberty and maintenance of our freedoms than the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is what makes it possible not just for us to defend ourselves from anyone who might harm us, to provide sustenance for our family, but to also defend ourselves against a overreaching government that might use force, otherwise not deterred by the prospect of an armed population. And it doesn't take a whole armed population to deter the government. It doesn't take a whole gun battle. It just takes the idea of citizens standing up and creating a resistance that the government has to then decide whether it wants to equate that use of resistance, peaceful yet armed resistance, with force, thereby changing the dynamics of the game. And it certainly is something that has kept government in check for many a time, although we did have some troubles later. You know, we've had some issues briefly, and it's very important that we maintain that Second Amendment. And Mr. Trump is the only candidate I have ever seen run in my lifetime that has such a profound and thorough Second Amendment policy. He is looking for a nationwide concealed carry. He's looking for a complete halt to the limiting and the shrinking of gun rights. He's a huge Second Amendment advocate. I invite you to go to his page, donaldjtrump.com, positions, and read the Second Amendment paper. It's one of the best position papers a presidential candidate probably has put together on the Second Amendment in a long time. And he is a true advocate for the gun owner, for the gun enthusiast, and for anyone who appreciates and respects the Second Amendment. And that is my Trump reason of the day. So, excellent. I want to talk a little bit about the polls. Polls are doing very well across the nation. As you all know, we are narrowing 1 to 2 points in national polls right now. Multiple polls are starting to show that Trump is leading huge in Utah over Clinton, 43 to 30. He's even leading Sanders, 43 to 37. So as they keep telling her, Sanders actually does better with Trump, and the polls show it, but it doesn't matter. So we'll beat both of them. It's great, and we know this because more and more of the polling is showing a Trump surge. The PPP poll, the Reuters poll, surging. There are Trump going up in the polls all across the country, in states all across the country, in battleground states, in all demographics. But he's doing well with Hispanics. All of these numbers are increasing. Hillary's numbers are coming down. So it's very interesting. If you keep watching the polls, you guys, we're going to keep watching them in the battleground states, but some great numbers out of Utah. It's a red state already, but considering how all the shenanigans Ted Cruz did over there, it's kind of sweet revenge to be doing so well in Utah. So that's the latest on the polls. I want to do a best of the Trump train. This picture was sent to me by one of my Twitter friends, Aunt Snitsy. Her son took this picture while they were driving in Texas. Some people are just excited about Trump and they're just not afraid to show it. And this is what you get. Yeah, let's see if I can get it good. There we go. You see the Trump flag on the top. You see the veterans. Take care of our veterans. It's just amazing what people are doing and motivated to show their support for Mr. Trump. And so that youth there, Houston, Texas, Best of the Trump time today. Good stuff, you guys. So that's about it for the show. I want to remind you that you can find me at Trumpetarian on Twitter. You can email the show at trumptalkus@gmail.com. You can also find all of our videos, including this one will be up very quickly, at www.trumptalk.us. That leads right to our YouTube page, which has all of our episodes. We are going to be doing a special, as you know, when I miss an episode, we're going to be doing a special just after this, Trump Talk Special Edition, Trump on China Trade Reform. So feel free to tune in just a few minutes, and we'll do a special breakdown of Trump's position from his website. For all your friends who are like, no specifics, we're going to give them to you right after this. So everybody, thanks. That's our Trump Talk episode 24. We've been doing this just over 3 weeks now, and we're going to keep doing it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. For me and Little Trumpy, vote Trump. Go out and vote, Oregon. We need you tomorrow. Vote Trump.